Good evening, weather fans. You can feel it in the air tonight, the cold front that will fuel this significant winter event that will affect the central Maryland area for Wednesday, February 20th. Let's get into it. As you can see on the screen, this is my final forecast for this event. Central Maryland, we're looking at 4 to 6 inches. We're on the border with the 2 to 4 mark, mainly because I do believe the sleet and freezing rain will come a little bit earlier than expected, as the warm air will rise up from the south and eventually take over the storm to all rain. But we'll get into timing details a little bit later. Let's go ahead and take a look at the setup here. Sometime today. There we go. Alright, take a look at the setup. As you can see, let's make this a little bit thicker here. As you can see, we have high pressure placed to the north and low pressure right here, and it's a typical low pressure versus high pressure battle. Now, typically with these storms, one of these pressures will win, either the high or the low, and it either results in the storm being pushed too far to the south and the high pressure winning, or the low being a little bit stronger than the high and it cutting to our west and resulting in rain. Here we have the perfect scenario, a perfect battle, two even fields where we'll get the snowstorm and the ice, but eventually this low is a little bit stronger and it will go to all rain. But that's what you need, is the battle between high pressure and low pressure to really cause these significant winter events. So if we take a look at our accumulation maps, we will see from the GFS model, it doesn't really know what it's doing, to be honest. I mean, these totals are way overdone. Washington, D.C. is not going to see a foot of snow. If they do, I'll be very surprised. But, you know, nothing's out of the question with weather, that's for sure. But I just don't understand why the GFS is seeing the cold holding so long to produce these totals. It just has a very, very strong high, Arctic high, that no other model is showing right now, and it's a little bit confusing, and it's surprising because it's not just the operational, the ensemble members are also showing just a very wide range of high total snowfalls. You can see DC here, a foot plus. It's like, what? You know, it's not going to happen. The Euro is much more sensible, has a much better grip of the storm. We'll take a look at the operational model first. You can see 3 inches right around central Maryland. That's realistic. I think it'll be a little bit more. I think the cold will hold a little bit longer to produce a 4 to 6 inch range, but you know, 3 inches, I wouldn't be surprised with that if the sleet and freezing rain start a little bit earlier. If you take a look at the Euro ensembles, same thing, you know, 3 to 4 inches. For the central Maryland area. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised with that, and it's on par with the operational, is what you want to see for consistency. If we take a look at the North American model, which has been the most accurate short-range model this year, the WRF, not the NCEP. That's the one that shows ridiculous snow amounts of like 2 feet, which you know, doesn't make sense at all and confuses everybody. So we're not going to look at that at all. We're going to look at the one that's going to be right. So you can see it's in line with my forecast here, 4 inches for central Maryland, and the higher amounts north and west of us, 7 to 8 inches. It seems right. You know, the cold is going to hold longer in these areas rather than central Maryland. So that model does look good to me. We take a look at the timing of this storm, so we'll get into the timing now. I expect the snow to start around 7 or 8 a.m. Wednesday. Light snow will turn moderate to heavy as we go throughout the morning hours. So we'll have probably about 6 or 7 hours of really heavy, moderate to heavy snow. And right around, I would say, this shows 1 p.m., but I really think it's going to be around 2 or 3 that we're going to start seeing the freezing rain and the sleet mixing in with the snow, and that's when conditions are just going to absolutely deteriorate. I hope nobody really has to, or less people have to travel for the Wednesday evening commute, because it's just going to be a total mess at that time with the snow as well as the sleet and freezing rain. So the change over to sleet and freezing rain should be around 2 or 3 p.m. Wednesday. And eventually it is going to go to all rain, as that southern moisture and southern warm air will take over. This is, again, okay, the sleet and freezing rain around 4 p.m. Wednesday. And it will go to all rain probably around 10 or 11 p.m. This is midnight, showing pretty much all rain at this point for the central Maryland area. Schools probably will either be delayed or closed Thursday for Anne Arundel County and Baltimore County, because probably there will be some ice left over, and it's going to take a little bit for this to melt. So I wouldn't be surprised to see schools closed on Thursday, or at least delayed. So that pretty much wraps it up. We could take a look at the setup one more time. Like I said, you have this high pressure to the north, low to the south, so it's just going to sweep right on through here. And that's really the outlook that you want to see a significant winter event. So enjoy it, everybody. I'll have further updates just in case anything changes. Have a great night and ask questions if you'd like to. See you later, everyone.